Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots. Look, shows us like Fassels. Meine Freunden. I'm Useful Idiot. And today we're going to talk about Germany. And just like in the last video where I said the NSA in the United States has a little brother in France. Well, it turns out that the NSA in the United States has a little brother in Germany too. And I'm gratified to have this fall in my lap because when I did the video about France, I just assumed that there was a lively intelligence activity and surveillance going on in Germany, and probably has been intact since the post-war period and American occupation. And it turns out that's absolutely true. So let's get into the details. So a new interview appeared in the German media, the Süddeutschen Zeitung, and it says basically that U.S. intelligence agencies have a complete free hand in Germany with the knowledge and blessing of the German government. And so what a shocker, huh? So just as we knew, if one's doing it, they're all doing it. There's surveillance and spying going on in Germany, and all this outrage by their politicians is all feigned, all manufactured, because they're all in on it. So no surprise there. Professor of history Joseph Feuchtwath says that Allied intelligence in post-war Germany, and he is the expert on that, and he said that this system has been intact since World War II, and he's written a book on it called Germany Surveilled, published last year. And for a Western intelligence agency like the NSA, there are in principle no limits in Germany. And in fact, the professor says that, quote, the NSA can do everything in Germany, not only because of the legal situation, but above all because of the intensive collaboration between the U.S. and German services, which was always desired and always politically acceptable. So that tells us everything we need to know, and that's just using common sense to think about surveillance in Germany. The NSA can do everything they want there, and that there was never any problem with it up until now because it was always desired and it was politically acceptable. And now that it isn't, we get the feigned outrage. And this article goes on to say the legal basis dates back to 1963. Germany and the Allies committed to close collaboration in the collection, exchange, and protection of intelligence in a supplementary agreement to the NATO Status of Forces Agreement. So a military compact through NATO, and this alludes to the fact that this also affects other Western countries, because it says Germany and the Allies, so that would include the United States, France, and other players. So once again, pointing out the fact that there's probably a surveillance system in all of these countries and all working together, and all part of the global dragnet, part of the NSA. And no surprise that these collaboration agreements about intelligence were all done in secret and are strictly confidential programs. And once again, as I often say, look at what they do, not what they say, because in 1968, responsibility for surveillance was officially turned over back to Germany. But interestingly, the U.S. retained the right to maintain its own intelligence to, quote, protect its own forces, unquote. So, in other words, the intelligence apparatus stayed exactly as it was previous to the agreement and is still in force today. And Article 10 of the German Constitution is actually restricted in order to accommodate this surveillance of telecommunications in post. And this entire system is still in force today. So Germany is part of the global surveillance network and dragnet. And unlike France, although I shouldn't say unlike France, we just haven't found out what exactly is in France and what's part of their entire surveillance program. But in Germany, according to German media, the NSA has 3 of its own facilities, Darmstadt, Stuttgart, and Wiesbaden. And they're also known to have 3 major German intelligence sites in Berlin, Cologne, and Pullach. And needless to say, American intelligence comes and goes from those sites too. So the surveillance sector of the United States and Germany is virtually integrated. And the author actually has some interesting points at the end, because he talks about the fact that Germany has had this tradition of Prussian militarism and went through the Nazi state, and of course East Germany had the Stasi state. And he points out, rather pointedly actually, that many of these people that served in the East German Stasi and the Nazi state are still back in positions in the judiciary and especially intelligence. So they would not necessarily have any scruples, and it would also lend a nice continuity to German intelligence in the post-war period. So, and again, apparently, it would appear anyway that the purpose is domestic surveillance in Germany, and possibly involving all of their neighbors, just like everybody else, because as we know, everyone's spying on everyone else, and everybody knows about it. And here's just more proof of that. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too. And remember, if I agreed with you, then we'd both be wrong.